The New York School of Abstract Expressionists in the 1940s were one of my favorite art movements. It's the thing that inspired me to become an artist, and I still feel inspired by those paintings today. I decided to make a collection of paintings that were in that style, and so I want to take you through that process and show you what I made, and hopefully inspire you to look back to history and find an art movement or an art style that resonates with you to incorporate in your work moving forward. Sometimes it's helpful to remember what you love and kind of go from there. Here are a few examples from artists that were very popular during that time period. And if you guys are interested in learning more about these artists and want me to do a deeper dive video on specific artists, I would be very happy to do that. But think Jackson Pollock, think Mark Rothko. We're talking about emotions and texture and color and shape. And so that's where I wanted to begin my process, was from inspiration from these sources. These were the artists that I fell in love with that made me fall in love with art. And so I wanted to get back in touch with that and explore that concept for myself and what that means for me and my art today. I started with some rough sketches of ideas for some abstract style paintings. Really, I don't like the word abstract. I like the word non-representational because to me, that's more of an accurate term, because I'm not trying to depict flowers in a unique way or a landscape in a way that's not very clear that it's a landscape, but it still looks like a landscape. Non-representational art to me means it's not supposed to look like anything. When you think of like Picasso and how he did his figures, those were abstracted figures. They were done in an abstracted way, but it was still a figure. So I wanted to do completely non-representational and just focus on texture, shape, pattern, color, emotion, and build a collection around that. After I did my initial sketches, I thought I would do some color studies and kind of develop that a little bit and see where that was taking me. I had a stack of 10 blank 8x8 canvases. So I was trying to come up with enough ideas for 10 pieces. So I really just played around with shapes, and I ended up leaning towards blue colors. So I was doing light blues and dark blues and seeing how the shapes played off of each other and how they fit in the space, and just really experimenting with line and shape and color. Pretty immediately I saw that the blue was standing out to me, so that is the direction that I chose to do. And I started with a base layer on every canvas. I tried to vary the values so each one would have its own unique personality, not only with its shape, but the color as well. And it was a very slow process of building layers on top of layers, as you can see. When you see people's final artwork, even if it's very simple looking, I don't think people realize how long it takes to make things by hand sometimes. Each step of the process is very slow, and you just have to take your time with it. I find this part very meditative and enjoy it very much when it comes to non-representational art. It feels very good to just be loose and open and not have to look at a reference photo and get things perfectly. You're kind of just feeling it, so to speak, in the zone. And it's nice, it's therapeutic. So after the second layer on all 10 canvases, this is what they are starting to look like. The shapes are really forming, the colors are coming together. Some of the pieces feel a little more finished than others, but there's definitely a nice flow happening between all of them. I only used about 3 or 4 colors for the whole set, and I think that really helped to keep the continuity, even though all the canvases are quite different. But I was loving it at this stage, to be honest. But I just kept working and slowly adding details over time. I actually started this series back in, I want to say November or December of last year. and it's taken a really long time to get them looking good. So this is like layer 3 or 4, like the third or fourth pass on each one. And some of them are really looking good, and some of them I wasn't quite feeling and still needed to do work on. But having them side by side kind of helped me figure out which pieces feel more resolved and which pieces I wanted to work on more. I have to say I really liked working on this smaller scale and working on multiple pieces. So I do think that's something that I'm going to take away from this project, is that I like to work in a series. So here's the final pieces. I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. I feel like it all goes together very, very well. I think I probably could sell them individually, but I don't know. I kind of want to keep them together. If you've made it this far in the video, tell me what you think down in the chat. If you think I should keep them and sell them as like one entire collection together, or sell each piece individually. I'm curious to see what you think. I like the simplicity of this one. It's more smooth and clean. And then this one, I really like how the shapes kind of play off of each other. It's also pretty smooth texture-wise. This one again has like watercolor effects inside the shapes, but it's actually acrylic paint. This is a very textured canvas. This one also has a lot of texture, and the shapes are a little bit unperfect, and I kind of like how they kind of vibrate off of each other. This feels very patterned to me and like fuller and more clustered, and I like that with the collection. And this is all about texture. There's layers of texture. It's about pattern and texture, I think, are the more successful components. This has a little bit of line work and shape. It's a little geometric, but I think it's needed within the collection. Again, shapes playing on shapes and color. And this one, again, has a smooth texture. It doesn't have all of the texture like the other ones. This one has a smooth texture as well, and it actually has the same watercolor type vibe as the other ones. So when you put them all together, they really vibrate off of each other, I think, and they work good as a collection. I'm just signing them. So if you feel bored, look back to history, pick out an art history style that you love, and try to feel inspired from it, because I really enjoyed doing this. Made me feel a little bit closer to the thing that I love. That's it. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye now.